Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. It's me, Jackstar360, and today we're back in Roblox, as you can see here. We're back in Obby Creator, and today I'm showing you a few tips and tricks that the pros might use to make their obbies look so amazing. If you really want to get your obbies or showcases even to look that much better and maybe even be up there with the pros on the leaderboard, you're gonna definitely want to watch this video. These are all a bunch of little things that you can do that don't really have the length for their own video. So without further ado, subscribe, like, and let's get into it. First and most important thing to remember is to change your set to grid move option. I see a lot of people don't do this, and I'm pretty sure it's because they don't know about it. But it's such a vital part of building and getting in the detail that you need. Here we have the smallest possible size for a part using the basic snap to grid. And it's pretty small, but it doesn't really get the detail that you need for some things. If we go ahead and click on settings and come up to here to snap to grid and change the move setting, normally it's set to 0.5, which is how you get the size that I just showed you. But if you want to get that real detail in, you can make it a lot smaller, even to the point of if you just change it to the 0, it will automatically set it to 0.01. And well, let's just say 0.01 is slightly smaller. If you take a real close look next to the normal block, you can see this absolutely minuscule pixel. That is the size that you can get down to with 0.01, which opens up a whole new bucket of possibilities, such as making extremely large pieces without, spending millions of in-game dollars. For an example, take this, the Mega Cube. You can see my character down there in the bottom corner, and compared to this massive thing, I'm nothing. But if we actually come over here and look around, if we come inside, you'll see that it's actually completely hollow. That's because every side is actually just a really thin sheet using the fact that I can change the size to 0.01. This opens up not only a whole bunch of possibilities for making really small things, but also a whole bunch of possibilities for making stuff that's way bigger than realistic for your money. Number 2, we have one of the much more simpler concepts. Here we have water. These are 4 different types of water that I often use in terms of color and material. I see a lot of people messing up when making water, and they'll use like the sand texture or just really off-putting colors, and it'll be completely solid. This can be fine if you're going for a very low poly kind of build, but if you're going for something more realistic, you're going to want to go for these more realistic colors, which I can show you here. Here, for the more green, lighter color, we have this more of like a teal, a light greenish blue, which can be really good for really shallow waters or more tropical ones. We also have just the basic light water for really calm, relaxing builds. Here we have the more light ocean blue for when you really want to get across that it's a vast ocean, but it's really comfortable and safe. And last, we have the deep ocean blue, which is a lot more extreme and can be used for a lot of things, like underwater builds. One of the most important things about water is to make sure that you use the texture foil. Out of all of the different textures that you can use, I mean, sure, you can use other things. Glass might work, or sand, like I see a lot of people doing, maybe would work a little bit for vast ocean. But a general rule is that foil is the best material for water. Now, one thing that I know a lot of people do is play on mobile. And so they can't have as high graphics quality. Their graphics are usually set to automatic. And because they're on mobile, their game usually looks like this. When your graphics are so low, things like foil and neon don't appear. They don't show up, so it just looks like it's smooth plastic. But trust me when I say, for anyone who can see this, they will be amazed at how amazing your water looks. One last general rule for water is to make sure that it's not solid. You want some transparency, even if it's just a small amount. It's very important, and it really does add to the detail. Next up, we have characters. Now, custom characters have always kind of been an iffy issue in the game. People don't really seem to understand how to make a good-looking custom character, usually just making a cylinder for the head and having it turn sideways, like a drawing of a stick figure. But if you want to make a character that looks like a Roblox character, it's important to actually take a look at what the average Roblox character looks like and their proportions. Of course, my character isn't blocky, so it's kind of hard to tell, but you can see that even with my wings in the way, the proportions do add up a lot, and it's important to have that. For the head as well, it's important that it is a cylinder, but you're going to want to make sure that it's going up, like the way I've put it. If you want, for the extra flair, you can add half spheres to the top and bottom. Of course, if you're a little tight on parts, it isn't necessary. It's also a good idea to play around with maybe making the arms not the full size, and instead of making them 1 wide, make it 0.8 wide. Next up, we have a very important thing. Detail. Even when you feel like it isn't really necessary, I guarantee it's those small things that will make someone look and really say, wow. For instance, I've made a wall of a laboratory build. This is the default. This is what you're going to see a lot of people doing. They're just plastic gray walls with a roof and a floor. And that's fine, but would you rather look at this or this? There's a big contrast between the two. One is just basic walls, and the other utilizes textures like metal and neon to its advantage to really make the whole thing pop, as well as just the small details like the sides coming in at the bottom to really feel like it's an environment, or the trusses holding up the walls. You'd be a lot more comfortable with walking down a long hallway made out of this than you would walking down a long hallway made out of this. And of course, for all of the mobile players, it might not seem as important, but this still looks a lot better than this. So don't just think that just because the graphics quality isn't quite there and you can't quite see the magnificence that other people can't, because that's what we're creating for. Other people to see the creativity and new ideas that you can come up with. Now, the last and most important tip, trick, rule, whatever you want to call it, is be creative. Don't just remake another Undertale Sans fight or difficulty chart, Obby. Everyone's done that. Do something that no one's done, or do something that everyone's done, but do it amazingly. Experiment. Use the different materials and tools that you have in your arsenal to really show what you can do and what you can create and come up with. Invent something. Make something that no one's thought of. Step out there into the light and make something beautiful.